Hi everyone, my name is Steven and I'm very happy I can talk a little bit about the power of diversity for Belgian companies. Some of you may know that I spent quite some time in Silicon Valley to look at how companies drive innovation over there, and last week I was in China to do exactly the same thing. And it's really interesting to see both angles of the world and the two superpowers innovating, because what really is fascinating is that they use a totally different approach in terms of diversity. I mean, if you go to China, it's gonna sound funny, but all of them are Chinese, and there are a lot of them. Huh? There's 1.4 billion Chinese people, and you have hardly any diversity in companies. I mean, we've been at a big tech company and there was one American guy working there, all the others were Chinese. It's the total opposite if you go to Silicon Valley. There you hardly see American people working in those companies. If you walk around on the campus of Google, you see a lot of Asian people, many Asian people living there, a whole bunch of European. I mean, it's like the world in one campus. And it's totally different and it works on both sides. But there's a trick. I mean, there's this thing that is completely different in China. Why it works in China? Why don't they need diversity? Because those big technology companies only focus on one market, the Chinese market. If you look at Tencent with WeChat, they focus on the Chinese market. And they don't need other people because they created this great firewall around their country, so they don't get bothered by Facebook or other Western companies. So they create their own monopolies with a market of 1.4 billion, and they address that market. So they completely understand how that market works. If you look at the US, if they wouldn't have the diversity they have right now in Silicon Valley, it would be a total disaster. Because companies like Google and Facebook and all other technology companies that start there, they have the goal to conquer the world, basically the world without China. And it's very hard to understand the differences in culture and digital usage if you don't have all those cultures on board. That's one thing. Second thing is, it's not just about the culture, it's also about the talent. If you see how people get really well educated in universities in China and in India right now, and you see how talented they are, it would be a pity not to use that talent, because there's a scarcity in tech talent at this moment in the world. There are not enough American people to keep up with the requests of Google and Facebook and Microsoft. They need that diversity. It's even interesting to see that companies like Microsoft or like Google even have non-native US CEOs. So it's really part of society. And I think they've done a pretty good job in integrating those people. I mean, my aunt and uncle, they live in Silicon Valley. They live on this square. And my aunt is Belgian, my uncle is American. Next to them, there's a Mexican family. Next to them, there's some people from Thailand. On the other side, there's some people from India. All of them are active in the tech industry. They integrate it completely, and it's like a diverse world that they created over there. And that really it creates some sort of an openness and warmth and spirit for change. And I think that is something we can learn here in Belgium. I think we think too small. I mean, we're still thinking like we're making stuff for Belgium, and we make an extrapolation of how things work in Belgium and then think that's the same all over the world. We even take our own little hometown or like family situation often like reality. I mean, I meet so many people that say, hey, I don't use Facebook, so Facebook is going down. No, Facebook's not going down. They've got 2 billion users around the world, and people from all nationalities are using that. So I'm afraid that if we don't open our minds towards people from different origins in our working environment, we will have a very hard time to really make it to this next phase. Because the truth is, if you look at Europe, we are not part of the game right now. We're just not part of the game. The 20 biggest companies in the world, 12 are US, 7 are China, 1 is Japanese, 0 from Europe. If you look at the way society is changing in Europe versus US and versus China, we're lagging behind. And I think one of the differences or the difficulties is that in Europe, most of us are just European that look at the current situation in Europe and we don't look far enough ahead of us. And I think because of that lack of diversity, we are losing the game right now. I think we need people from other continents to come over here and tell us how fast the world is changing and how other cultures use those technologies in a different way. And I think if we really want to be innovative and change things and become a player in this game, there's no other choice than to invest in the power of diversity. I hope that gave you my perspective on things. And of course, I wish all of you a fantastic day, and thanks for having me. Bye-bye.